character study on the human psyche and death. How death affects each individual and what they're willing to do, either to die, to prevent death, to kill others, or to simply exist in a world that demands blood. That is how I perceived the first volume of Jigokuraku, Hell's Paradise. Now, going into this, I basically went into this blind, knew nothing about it. The main character, Gabimaru, the Hollow, he's not eccentric, but pretty fucking badass, honestly. Now, here's the whole gist of it, okay? So, Gabimaru was betrayed by his own clan and was sentenced to death by the shogunate, the magistrate. And each single time, he basically thwarted death. Because where he's from, Iwagakure, I believe it's called. I probably butchered that. More likely. They go to this hellish training. And he's just not letting himself die. Turns out that he wants to live for his wife. Because him and his wife, who is the daughter of the head of the Iwagakure ninja head, daughter of the ninja head, basically, of that clan of ninjas, or that village of ninjas, I should say, because they're not exactly a clan per se. They were basically forced to marry each other, as how I understood it, but they ended up falling in love with each other too. And he just wants to go back, living with her, living a worry-free, blood-free, mundane life. That he's not exactly hollow, because he's called the Hollow because he can kill ruthlessly and mercilessly, but the thing is that each killing is actually staining the soul of his very being. And so after surviving multiple trials of execution, that being beheading, very hot oil, or him being put into very hot oil, oxen being used to rip him apart, none of it fucking worked. And because of this, he was allowed to become part of a Suicide Squad-esque mission. Apparently, there's been this island, and people have been going to it, but they've either been coming back in boats dead, covered in flowers and plant life, and the one person that actually did come back alive is so fucking warped in the mind that he can't even tell the shogunate, what he saw, what transpired, nothing. And so these hardened criminals are accompanied by a group of skilled executioners called the Yamada Asaemons, who are basically learned to cut with just a single stroke. Which is why each single one of them has a rank of the Itto. Now, I thought the Itto were just a made-up group of badasses of an antagonist group from another manga called Blade of the Immortal. Didn't exactly think that that name particularly would be in part of another manga. So I'm wondering if the Itto is actually a legit martial arts school or something. And so, instead of a, device planted inside of the brain to instantly kill, said criminal in case they decide to do their own little fucking thing, they're assigned an executioner, each single criminal. And the criminal has to come back with their executioner with the elixir of life. Which there are hints that the elixir of life does exist on this island. Now, as it stands currently, we do have our protagonist and our deuteragonist, basically the second lead, which are Gabimaru as the protagonist and Yamada Asaemon Sagiri, who is a female executioner, which is actually rare for the Yamada clan, because technically women in the Yamada clan are not supposed to hone the blade, but she is an exception. And there's a parallel between her and Gabimaru I noticed right off the bat, and that is the two of them, even though they are more than not, good at what they do, that is, killing, they both actually find death to weigh heavy on their souls. And of course, you put a bunch of severely wanted criminals, basically criminals that in our society would have been deemed to death row, putting all of them on an island, almost unsupervised, with just one executioner per individual. Yeah, they're not exactly going to follow the rules per se, and on top of that, they are definitely going to try to take out the competition while they can. Because, who's to say that the person that finds the elixir of life is going to share that knowledge with everybody else? And at this point, it's essentially every man for himself. So, it's like whoever wrote the mangaka that wrote this, sorry, I forgot to write his or her name down, or their name down, because it might be a team. It's almost like they were just like, hey, how about we combine, aspects of Suicide Squad meets fucking Battle Royale. Meets In the Mouth of Madness. Because the last chapter of this volume, that turned shit quickly. And made a lot of sense as to how all these other adventurers who, went to this island and came back all covered in fucking flowers and plant life and shit. Because also on this island, aside from the Chosen 10, you got a shit ton of weird abominations that obviously a Christian Judeo god would not come up with. Well, in case you're wondering, the 10 as followed are Gabimaru, Bandit King Azachobe, Blade Dragon Tamiya Gantetsusai, Hunter of the 100 Warped Kyun, Nurugai of the Sanka, Killing Buddhist Prayer Horubo, Cannibal Khorasan Akaginu, Kunoichi Yuzuriha of the Shishu, Moromakia the Apostate, and the Giant of Baizen Rokurota. Now, we only know 3 of their executioner names. Rokurota's is Aizen, or Izen, because it's an E, not an A. I want it to pronounce the same as Aizen. Whatever. He's actually ranked number 1 of the Itto Ryu. Then you have Kisho, who who's assigned to Kyun. His rank is number 11. Then you got Fuchi, who's ranked number 9. And he's assigned to Blade Dragon Tamiya. So, each single individual that is assigned to one of these hardened criminals, their job is basically, if the criminal gets out of line, to kill them. And if by chance one of these Yamada clan individuals gets killed, then another, I guess, Yamada guy will kill said criminal. Or the criminal actually will meet death anyways if they try to come back off the island without their executioner partner. So, they're basically stuck with these motherfuckers. Now, already, a couple of characters are... I'm not sure we call them main characters, because if they die in the first volume, then wouldn't they just be kind of like fodderish? Like, Kyun is already dead. Okay? He fought Gabimaru, lost, and then got beheaded by his executioner, Kisho. So, yeah. But there's others who seem that they died way too quickly, and I'm wondering if characters that even die now will essentially be brought back to life, seeing as how there is a massive hint that the elixir of life could basically exist. Also, the fact that there's weird-ass abominations on the island makes me believe that just because someone has died now does not necessarily mean that they're going to stay dead. So overall, I am very intrigued as to what will become of this manga. And seeing as how it recently ended, I think I picked a pretty damn good series to start reviewing weekly. Alright, so what do you guys think of Hell's Paradise Jigokuraku Volume 1? Let me know in the comments down below. And, subscribe, hit that notification icon. Volume reviews coming out every Sunday alongside Inuyasha. Huh. 2 series about weird creatures. One being a seinen, the other being a shonen. Damn. I did not realize I paired them up like that. Okay. Anyways, y'all stay blessed.